Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome back to another Tower of Saviors video. Sorry I've been a little bit inactive. Because of the holidays, I went on vacation with my family, which made it a little bit hard to record videos. So we are a little bit behind on the GNN reviews. But this week we are going to have a double installment. We will be taking a look at last week's GNN news, which includes some era of novelty skill adjustments, and also virtual rebirth for the Flowers of Pledge. So let's take a look at those news first. And then we'll be covering the new news that just dropped off yesterday, and I'll let you know my thoughts and about those as well. So keep an eye out for the next video that will be coming out right after this. So without further ado, let's start with last week's GNN news. If it loads. Okay, there we go. So we are getting another Flower of Pledge Virtual Rebirth and Era of Novelty character skill adjustments. I should have remembered Flower of Pledge already had its Virtual Rebirth, but in this case they are getting a skill adjustment, aka a buff, because as you know in TOS a lot of cards just fall out of the meta, so it is better to give them buffs so they become a little bit more relevant. So let's take a look at what we've got. So, we do have a lot of other characters from the Era of Novelty series also getting buffs, and in my opinion, this is really good because from the beginning, I always thought the Era of Novelty skill was very weak and not really worth getting. You're just getting a lot of these characters for free if you're pulling for the Jackpot cards, but their skills are not really that good. So, let's see. Before adjustment, Coco the Fanatic Foodie we do increase. Oh, what the? That is an insane increase on the team attack. Okay, well that is good. Team attack times 6.5 goes to team attack times 9, and that is a very significant buff. What else increases? This second effect stays the same, and third effect stays the same. So basically, the leader skill just gets a little bit bump in damage, which is going to make it more relevant with newer stages. Because the one main reason why leaders fall off the meta is because their damage output is not good enough anymore. So by just changing their multipliers, it is going to make them a little bit more relevant, hopefully. Coco Fanatic Foodie, active skill, character testing 3, regular B, same thing. Damage will be dealt regardless of trio, elemental shield, and crit elemental shield. That is also, if that is good. Um, you are including trio. Quintet was already there, but now you have trio. So that's good. And yeah, so that's not bad. Giving it more utility is definitely good because it will make it more relevant as well. So that is going to be good. We have another team skill. Oh my god. Team skill Coco for Coco the Fanatic Foodie. Interval supply by 2 seconds. That's increase of 0.5 seconds. We have Runestone Possession Effect. Heart Rune full effect instead of the 50% of before. Heart Rune just stays the same, and you add this one Summoner Candidate series and Myriad Fable series attack times 2. Again, reiterating the fact that more attack is going to make it more relevant. So, nice skill adjustment, um, more utility, more damage, but not too much in terms of core gameplay mechanics. So, for Coco Fanatic Foodie, that's good. For Kogel, the Fiery Stripes, same thing, attack increases by 9. But yeah, so actually, this video is going to take forever if we just go through every single um, buff that we have. Uh, looks like there isn't too much of a crazy change, it's just more utility. Ooh, unlimited runestone movement time, which gives it the time tunnel, which makes it better utility and better suited for putting in other teams. So definitely a good addition. But overall, I do think that these are all good changes for these cards that rarely saw play because now they do have more relevant um, multipliers as well as more utility in their active. Here's the thing though, giving it an instant times 9 makes it a little bit weird because right now all the top meta characters are getting times 9, and some of the collaboration characters are also times 9. So you're bringing all these old characters to the same power level, quote unquote, kinda, to the same base multiplier of these newer collaboration cards. And this could be a problem, but in my opinion, this is good because it gives us more options to choose from when building teams for ultimate stages. Now that achievements aren't really that important, having more options to clear stages, especially for free to play players that don't really have that many resources to pull for every single character, it is better for you to have older characters that can still clear content. If you have these cards that you pulled accidentally, um, having increased multiplier and increased leader team or leader skills multiplier and damage output is going to make your life a little bit better and not really rely on the newer characters to clear newer stages. That being said, these buffs come every once in a while, so I really hope Madhead did more of these to keep certain leaders relevant. But if they did that, they would lose the incentive of newer players to pull and, business models, gacha games, things like that. So I understand why they're doing it, but personally, as a player, I would like more buffs, especially to older characters that I really enjoy playing in the past that don't really see play anymore because their multipliers are. So same thing, lowering goes from times 8 to times 9. Um, gets more utility in their active skills. I think the one that I'm going to more curious about is going to be the Flower of Pledges um, buffs because those are black gold cards and they got a virtual rebirth and they saw more play, but now they're getting a skill adjustment. So hopefully we will have more. Um, yeah, Macho Slime. Ooh, Macho Slime. Yeah, hopefully they will have more relevance in the meta right now. And Flute Fairy. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I will have to take time to read all these team skills because it seems like there might be a new team archetype with just the summoner candidate series, which in the past was not that great because the cards were not that good. But now that they're adding so much more utility and some team skills to it, I think it might be good. So I'll review those later. But yeah, ah, this would have taken forever if I had read every single one of these changes. Javanor is getting a oh, okay. Javanor's only getting a team skill buff, which combo count is go to plus 8. Yeah, so unfortunately Javanor is not getting a leader skill multiplier buff, which is a little bit sad because it seems like they were buffing the leader skills of the non-jackpot cards. It would have been great to see a little bit more damage output, but an adjustment on the team skill is still pretty good. Same thing with Quinez, which is also one of the jackpot leaders. Same thing with Nocturne. Their team skills are getting adjusted, so that is going to be pretty good. Here we go. Elegance of Flower, Flawless Purity. This is going to be the Flowers of Pledge Virtual Rebirth. So, that is a big adjustment. Water attack times 7, HP times, and recovery times 1.6 was the previous one. And as you recall, in the time between the Flower of Pledge's Virtual Rebirth and now, Madhead has released a new series, which is the Yanxi series. They included some bi-weekly cards, they included some Nightmare Stage cards, Ultimate Stage cards, as well as the New Year's shop cards. They're also Yanxi. So, now that we have this archetype there, these Flower of Pledge series are getting um, being able to be used as leaders for these series, and it is being bumped from times 7 to a times 10. And not only do you also benefit Water members, but you also benefit Yanxi members. So that is a good addition. Still, Flowers of Pledge didn't really see that much play when they as leaders. They mostly saw play as members. But This increase in leader skill is pretty good, especially because it gives it a lot of multiplier. There's also, yeah, there's a lot of multipliers, and also the active skills are changed, and the team skills are changed. So hopefully they will be able to be used as leaders as, again, especially because the multiplier is times 10, and that is a pretty good multiplier to have in the current meta. Bam. So leader skill looks good. For the active skill, remove dark and heart rune. Yep. Team attack times 3. Extend some movement time to 20 seconds. Clear negative of frozen runes and petrify runes. So this is just utility, and damage will be dealt regardless of Quintet Elemental Shield. So basically, same thing as before. It is just more utility included to their active skill, and that is amazing in my opinion. Gives it more flexibility and more usage as a member. Keep in mind that this is going to be the leader form, and we haven't covered the member form, which is the one that people use the most because the leader fed a lot of them in. But yeah, so the team skill extend wisdom time by 5 seconds instead of 3 by dissolving a group of 10 or more water runestones. Now the condition goes down to 8 water runestones, which is easier to hit. Water members will be damage will be dealt regardless of its combo. But now you get a team attack times. Oh, times 9. I did not realize until I said it out loud. Anyways, times 9, and damage will be dealt regardless of fixed and puzzle shield. Wow, okay, that team skill is going to make Flawless Purity Shi a really good powerhouse of a leader, especially for a Yenshi team and a water team. Um, more more specifically for Yenshi team, because you also get an extended combo count just passively from your team skill, so that is going to be quite amazing. But yeah, so wow, I like this change, and I will actually try to use Flawless Purity Shi of as a leader for some of these stages. See how it works. But yeah, next we have Rhythm of Blazing Flames Yen, which is going to be the fire leader version of the Virtual Rebirth Yen. Same thing, multiplier went from 7 to 10, and then now it benefits EG members, and then everything stays the same, and you also get a team attack times 5 additional. So again, increase your multiplier, make it more relevant for a while before it falls off the meta again. For the active skill, we have modified the first 8 touch to become God runes. That stays the same, except you modify every single rune so you touch instead of just the first 8. And that is good because it also allows you to break mask runes, um, also weaken runes, block for recovery runes, and that. So that is pretty good. When four or more combos are made, team attack times that is fine. Damage will be dealt regardless of defense. Skill stays in play until deactivation or defeated. Um, Now you don't really have to just run God members to benefit from this skill. Everyone benefits from this skill. Pretty good. Skill can be deactivated at any time. Upon deactivation, skills be -2. Turn the columns below the character, leader, and ally into enchanted heart cards. So basically, that stays pretty much the same. Being able to deactivate a skill is always good. So no change there. For the team skill, you do have a lot more going for her. So when a burn position is touched, damage received from burning -70%. Now burning will be lowered to 1, so it is basically a full immunity to burn, kinda. Um, Instead of the -70% burning damage reduction that you got, which could still kill you if you weren't careful, but now you have pretty much immunity to burning. When you touch a burning uh, position, you also get -70% damage received, which doesn't really matter because your damage from burning is 1. Oh well. Um, Light, Dark, and Heart possess the effects of fire and Yenshi member attribute. So that gives you more flexibility team building. By dissolving fire, light, or dark runes, team attack times 6. That's new. because and you don't have to dissolve Fire God runestones. Gives you more flexibility when spinning. Makes it a little bit easier to use her as a leader. And then damage will be dealt regardless of trio, quartet, and quintet elemental. And for each AG member, combo count +1. So honestly, a really good leader skill adjustment in my opinion. Lots of multiplier, pretty good utility, and less restrictions on your team building possibilities. And also opens the chance to use Yenshi members and also move away from the mono attribute teams and run a more rainbow team with these Yenshi members. And also the conditions to hit your team skills have been lessened, which makes it easier to hit and definitely easier to use as a lead. Yeah, Sapphire Phantom Sheet. This is basically the member version. The leader skill gets a slight bump, but no one ever used her as a leader. Still, not probably not going to see as a leader either. Uh, does have a team skill added to her that only nullifies sticky, but uh, ooh, wait, no, that is a team passive team skill for a Yenshi team. Wow, okay. It ignores Sticky as a passive, and she only has to be with only Yenshi members, which restricts it a little bit. But being able to ignore Sticky just by being there is amazing. So definitely a good team skill to add, but you can see how she is not used as a leader because even her team skill doesn't boost her leader potential. So yeah, don't use Sapphire Phantom as a leader, just use her for her active skill. Her active skill is getting a bump from 20% increased water runestone drop rate to 25% water runestone drop rate. Upon the action, upon activation, on the end and at the end of each round. Wow, English is hard. Modify water runestones to become god runestones. The more water runestones dissolved, the higher the attack of Yenshi and water members to the max of times 3 for 8 runestones dissolved. So basically, this just gives you an easier um, restriction or easier condition to hit than before. And because you have increased water runestone drop rate and all runestones, water runestones are compared to god runestones, it is going to make it easy. And this basically is a buff, but it's not exactly a buff because the increase is very low. If you think about it, Sapphire Phantom Sea was mostly used for Water Babylon, Greek gods, Atlantis, and characters that needed or could generate water god runes. And this is a buff for them because it makes the condition to for C to stay active easier, but you're not getting more multiplier. Your max attack is still times 3, but the condition is easier to hit and you get more water runes to drop rate. This is a really good skill for Atlantis, but Atlantis leader multiplier is already so low that you don't really see that much play anymore. The only good thing is that now it is open for Yenshi teams as well, but this times 3, I wish they would have bumped it a little bit just so that the active skill as a whole also did a little bit more for older teams as well. But a buff is a buff, I'm not complaining. This is going to make it easier for you to hit the condition and keep it online for a while without losing the buff. Okay, for Peonia Romance Yen, this is also going to be the member version of um, this card. And we do get another team skill, which is also a passive skill. Burning will be completely nullified, but you can only activate it in a mono Yenshi team, which it's not exactly the most flexible because there's only so many Yenshi members in the game. So for all intents and purposes, this is a good team skill to have if you're running a Yenshi team. But if you don't have the Yenshi leaders, then it doesn't. But yeah, if you have this card though, uh, her active skill was really good because it gave the drop rate of earth runes to fire runes and that is rarely seen. Take the drop rate of other runestones and transfer it to another element. We have a lot of heart transfers, but not elemental transfers. So earth to fire is a really good one. So let's see how it changed. Drop rate of earth will be transferred to fire runestone. Yep. Fire runestones will be enchanted fire god runes. Yep. That stays the same by dissolving god runes. Drop rate of fire runes increases to 40%. That stays the same. And the skill stays in play until reactivation of the skill or defeated. Upon reactivation of the remove all runestones to generate enchanted god runes of all types of fixed numbers. Wow, they didn't do much to this one. Uh, the effect stays the same, which honestly I think it's fine because altering drop rates fixed. So I don't know if they could have increased the drop rate of fire runestones on top of getting rid of all earth runes. But here's the thing, what changed from this skill is that now when you deactivate the skill, you get a fixed board of all six types of runestones of fixed numbers and fixed positions, which is honestly really good because it allows you to be a little bit brain dead, and gives you easier type spinning. However, this skill can only be deactivated when the CD is ready. If this skill could be deactivated at any time, this one, this effect right here would be really good because you can remove all runestones to generate a fixed board on command. But because you still have to wait for cooldown, it makes the skill a little bit less useful, and the buff is also a little bit less relevant because you don't have that control. So in my opinion, Romance of a Peony of Romance Yen may see some play, but I don't think it's going to see that much play. On the other hand, I think the other effect for Sapphire Phantom Sea also might also not see that much play because the buff amount is still the same and people stop using her, as well as there's not that many leaders that can make use of her right now. So I think in terms of winners, I think the leader versions of these two cards are definitely winners. They definitely got buffed and are better leaders now, while the member versions of them, so the divergence versions, got the short end of the stick where their active skills remain pretty much the same and not didn't gain that much utility. However, their leader counterparts gained a lot of multiplier, a lot of utility, and their active skills got buffed a lot. So, in my opinion, that is a very good thing. So that is the end of this GNN news. Uh, Surprisingly, no new announcements of new cards and things like that or new collaborations. But it makes sense because this one dropped the week of New Year's. Everyone was taking time off. I was taking time off. And so the news that came out was this skill adjustment um, news. So that's all for this GNN news. Please let me know in the comments if I missed anything or if I said anything wrong. And as always, stay tuned on my YouTube channel for more Tower of Saviors content. For now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!